Everyone around you has an opinion about it. Your family thinks it is unsafe. Your friends think it is sad. And somewhere along the way, someone probably asked you the question that was really a statement in disguise. Why would you want to go alone? As if alone were a problem. As if choosing your own company over a group itinerary was something that needed to be explained, justified, or fixed. But here is what nobody in that room understands. You were not running from something when you booked that ticket. You were running towards something. And the moment you stepped off that plane by yourself, in a city where nobody knew your name, something clicked into place that had never clicked before. You felt, maybe for the first time, completely free. So where does that come from? Because it is not an accident and it is not a personality flaw. People who choose to travel alone are wired in a very specific way, and science has been quietly building the case for why. It starts with a trait psychologists call openness to experience. It is one of the 5 core dimensions of human personality, and if you score high on it, you are typically more curious, more independent, more willing to sit inside uncertainty without needing to resolve it immediately. You are the person who looks at an unfamiliar city on a map and feels excitement where others feel anxiety. You are the one who books a flight without a full itinerary, not because you are reckless, but because you already trust yourself to figure it out. Researchers who study solo travel consistently find this trait at the center. It is not that solo travelers are braver than everyone else. It is that their relationship with the unknown is fundamentally different. The unknown is not a threat to manage. It is an invitation to accept. But here's the deeper question. What is it that solo travel is actually doing to you? Psychologists Julia Zimmerman and Franz Nair published a landmark study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that tracked hundreds of people before and after extended solo travel. What they found stopped the field. Travel did not just change where people had been, it changed who they were. Travelers returned home measurably more open, more emotionally stable, and more agreeable than the people who had stayed behind. The experiences did not just entertain them, they restructured their personality at a trait level. In other words, you do not just collect memories when you travel alone. You collect a more complete version of yourself. And here is why that happens when you go alone specifically. When you travel with other people, there is always a negotiation running in the background. Where to eat, when to leave, whether to stay out or head back, what to prioritize. You are constantly calibrating your preferences against someone else's. That is not always bad, but it is constant. When you travel alone, that negotiation disappears. And in that silence, something quietly extraordinary happens. Your actual preferences surface. The things you genuinely want to do, not the things you agreed to. The pace that genuinely suits you. The moments you genuinely find meaningful. Suddenly, you are not playing a role in someone else's travel story. You are writing your own. Researchers studying solo travelers describe this as a process of values clarification. When no one else is shaping your choices, the choices you make become pure data about who you actually are. And that data, accumulated over days or weeks of being entirely self-directed, produces something that years of routine life rarely can, a clear, unfiltered picture of yourself. But here is where it gets complicated, because solo travel is not always romanticized freedom and golden hour selfies. There are real moments on the road when it gets hard. When you are sitting at a restaurant table for one, and the loneliness arrives uninvited. When something goes wrong and there is nobody beside you to help carry the weight of it. When the novelty wears off and the quiet becomes loud. And people who have never traveled alone will point to those moments and say, "See, that is why you should not go alone." But that framing misses something important. Those hard moments, they are not the cost of solo travel, they are the curriculum. Psychologist Albert Bandura spent decades studying what he called self-efficacy, the belief in your own ability to handle what life puts in front of you, and his research found that the most powerful way to build that belief is not reading about overcoming challenges, it is actually doing it. Navigating an unfamiliar transit system at midnight, communicating across a language barrier, rerouting when the original plan falls apart. Each time you solve a problem on the road by yourself, your nervous system updates its records. It files away the evidence. I can handle this. I have handled harder. And that update does not stay at the airport. it comes home with you. There is a specific kind of confidence that solo travelers carry. You have probably noticed it in yourself. It is not loudness, it is not arrogance, it is a quiet internal settledness, a knowledge that you have been tested in unfamiliar conditions and come out the other side intact. That is not a travel souvenir. That is a structural change in how you move through the world. But here is what almost nobody talks about. Solo travel does not just change how you see yourself, it changes how you see everyone else. When you travel alone, you become genuinely open to strangers in a way that group travel never allows. You talk to the person next to you on the train. You ask the local for a recommendation and actually follow it. You have a conversation in a hostel that stays with you for years. There is a reason for this, a psychological one. When your usual social circle is temporarily absent, the barriers come down. You are not performing for anyone who already knows your story. You are meeting people as a clean version of yourself, without the roles and history that shape every interaction back home. Psychologists who study solo travel note that these brief, unencumbered connections with strangers often become among the most meaningful social experiences travelers report. There is freedom and temporary, nothing to lose, everything to learn. Society has a word for people who would rather board a plane alone than wait for someone else's schedule to align. They call you independent. And sometimes they mean it as a compliment, and sometimes they do not. But here is a different word, and it is more precise. The word is self-possessed, not closed, not antisocial, not broken by some inability to build lasting connections. Self-possessed. You know what you want. You trust yourself to go and get it. You do not put your life on hold waiting for the world to be ready for you. And if you are watching this video wondering whether the urge to book that solo trip is something you should actually listen to, I want you to hear this directly. That pull you feel toward an open itinerary and an empty seat beside you on the plane is not irresponsibility. It is not running away. It is one of the clearest signals your instincts can send, that there is a version of yourself waiting to be met in a place you have never been, under conditions you cannot yet predict. And you are exactly the right person to go find them. A 2023 survey found that solo travel bookings increased by over 40% in just 2 years. People are waking up to what you already know. Leave a comment below and tell me where your first solo trip took you. I read every single one. Go. You already know the way.